Some questions have been, how do you know if you are in an abusive relationship? What are the warning signs? So whether you're in the relationship or you may have family members or a friend or a coworker or colleague or even a neighbor, and these may be some warning signs that you noticed. Does your partner insult you in public or in front of your children? Does your partner treat you like you are stupid or call you names? Does your partner try to control what you do? Does your partner react really jealous of your family and your friends? Does your partner blame you for his or her violence? Does your partner try to isolate you from family, friends? Does your partner try to keep you from activities that you previously enjoyed? Does your partner try to limit you from the activities that you participate in, from going to work, from bettering yourself, such as going back to school for education? These are the types of questions that you have to ask yourself, and these are the types of warning signs that you need to be aware of.
Exhale at this moment. Let me hear it. Now I know y'all got more hot air than that. Let me hear a big exhale. All right. So now joining us on the panel is Miss Henrietta Hadley. How are you doing today, Henrietta?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. All right, let's pass the mic over to Henrietta so she can introduce herself. She's here twofold, actually. So tell us, you are here to represent Representative Brown.
State Representative Vanessa Laurie Brown, as many of you know, is a survivor and is not here today, but I am here on behalf of our district office and also the Black Legislative Caucus. And for myself, as a survivor, about 10 years ago, I wrote a play called Promises. And we've heard a lot already today, but as many of you know, in this area of domestic violence, we make a lot of promises. We make a lot of promises to leave. We make a lot of promises to not abuse. We make a lot of promises to our children, to our family, and our community. And if not careful, you break a lot of those promises. Mm-hmm. So in writing the play, I decided that it should be called Promises. And if you dig deeper into the abuse community and the survivor community, you realize that that's what it's made of.
Yes.
It's promises. I really want to be here too, as I was sitting in the audience and then making my way to the panel, on behalf of all of the women that are incarcerated right now. There are a large percentage of women that are incarcerated because they took their own situation in their own hands. And when I wrote Promises, the first place I performed it was at Muncie State Prison. And at the time, that's when I learned that there were so many of my sisters, black, white, and indifferent, that were incarcerated due to domestic violence of some sort. So today, on a better note, I want to tell Dr. Walls, as we spoke on the phone this week, and we were concerned about the safety houses that are here in the city. And at our last year forum, where Dr. Walls is so generous in sharing her time with us and being our moderator for the last 3 years, I believe it is. And some of the panelists have also been a part of the forum that has been hosted by Representative Brown. But she and I were talking this week, and we both agreed, you know, what's happened since last year? We can keep coming together, but if there's no action, we're just coming together. And after I spoke with her, I'm pleased to say that there has been $2.5 million generated by the city to create a second safe house that will be managed.
Yes.
Because that means that someone listened and there was some action put behind that. But here's the other thing, we don't know about that. And so those are the types of victories that we need to know about. We need to know that $2.5 million has been generated to have a second house for our men and women and children of the city. We need to know that the Senate and the House of Representatives are putting House bills and Senate bills together to declare that there needs to be something done about this issue for our children, for our families. And that's what's going on. Many of you should, if you don't know, now you will know that on the 26th of this month, There's about 500 of us that come together, and we're down at the Kelly Drive area walking to end this. Just like all the other issues that are going on across the United States, this is an issue. So we all come together, and that's on behalf of Senator Leanna Washington. So a lot of your elected officials, whether you know it or not, are standing behind the action that a lot of us have gone to their offices.
Yes.
Dr. Walls, and I don't know if Mary knew this, but since our last forum, I took a position in the district office with State Representative Brown, and to hear the officer say today what she said about the 16th district, that's our district. And a lot of times women come into our district and they don't know where to go and get a protective order. They don't know where to go to be safe. So they go back into those situations with the children, who we all know are affected just as intimately as the abuser and the person that's in that situation. So to hear that information, now I can take that back to the district, and when constituents come into the office, I no longer will send them somewhere. I might make the report for them.
Yes.
So I thank you for that.
Yes.
In addition to what's going on in the city, I have brought some information today. There are a plethora of activities that will be taking place across the city. There is no excuse for us not to get involved and not to be a part of this issue to end, and I say that again, to end domestic violence.
Yes.
So I will share that
Yes.
information
Thank
today.
you.
Let's applaud to that, yes, yes. Before we go back to the discussion, I want to give just a few statistics that we may not be aware of. As Henrietta was talking, and we were talking earlier in the week about where can people go, and at the point there was only one safe house in Philadelphia. One safe house. Anybody like to take a guess how many beds were in that safe house? 12. More than 24. More than 50. 100. 100 beds in that safe house. There were close to 10,000 calls for help regarding domestic violence. In Philadelphia, we're talking a city where there is 1.5 million people. That's 6 beds per 100,000 people. So when people ask, why don't they just leave? The question starts to say, where do they go? So let's take a pause and marinate on that, and we'll come back shortly.